Good afternoon. This is Richard Cook from Jonesboro Taekwondo Dojang here in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Been doing basic techniques, and we've done pretty much everything before we finally got to a kick. Maybe because I consider that a little bit more basic. Maybe because everybody thinks that Taekwondo is nothing but kicks. But so we're going to start out with some kicks today, starting with the front kick. So this video is going to be dedicated to the front kick. Started out learning that a little bit differently than what I learned later on. There's front snap kick. We start out learning the front thrust kick. All of those are employed mostly with the ball of the foot, okay, right behind your toes. Don't want to really apply it with the point of the foot. Well, there's a few people out there that can do that. I'm not one of them. Don't think I'll ever try to be. Don't like broken toes. The exception for the weaponry on that would be the instep here, which would be used maybe in a groin attack where it just pops straight up. Okay. So we'll go over some basics of how to throw this. A little more complicated than most of the hand strikes. We start out this technique stretching wise in this position, this squat position here, up on the balls of the feet. Okay. Squatting is good for you anyway. Helps maintain the motion of your back, your hips, and your knees. But in this case, flexibility of your toes. Okay. Now I'm not very relaxed in this position. It's a good challenge to my balance and all, but it gets those toes back. Okay. So it's hard to stretch a muscle when it's not relaxed. So we drop forward on our knees here, pull those toes up underneath. We get a good stretch to those toe flexors so that you can learn to get your toes back. Okay? So that's a good way to stretch while relaxed. If it's painful, it's hard to relax, but it's a little easier than the first stretch. Now, this is also a very good position to get into to decompress your back, and align your posture, such like that. Okay. All right. Then at the very beginning, as a white belt, they work with us like this. So right there is your striking position for the front kick. Almost always, unless, like I said, it's an upward striking arm. Okay. So my foot is pointed, okay, but my toes are drawn back. For most people, it's harder than what it seems. Okay. All right. So there's your striking surface right there. So that's an important point. Another important point is that you need to learn to get your knee up high, even if you're not kicking high. Okay. I can't kick near as high as I used to. But the reason for bringing that knee up is so that your knee isn't snapping to its end rate every time you throw a front kick. It's probably the first kick you're going to learn, so you're going to be doing it for your entire martial arts career. Okay? So you want to learn to bring that knee up, folded, so that when you throw the kick, it can continue to carry on up, okay? Rather than popping down and hyperextending that knee over and over and over, okay? So we throw this off the front leg, off the rear leg, and so on. So the rear leg, usually the first way you're going to learn it, come off of a front stance, get the belt picture. All right, you're going to bring your knee up first and let your pelvis rock forward underneath. Front snap kick or front thrust kick, both the same. If you're going high, you might let this support leg pivot just a little bit, depending on your flexibility level. Okay. If you can't do it without pivoting, you may be a little too tight for however high you're kicking. Okay, you might need a little extra stretching. But so this is what it looks like from the front, coming off the rear leg here. Up, knee up high, snap it out. So there's a snap kick. For a thrust kick, it's more like that. But again, my knee is going to come up, decrease stress on the knee joint. So I said, you're going to be throwing this many, many, many times in your career. If you keep hyperextending your knee, eventually it's going to go out. Okay. So from the side view, front snap kick, front thrust kick. Thus, okay. Front thrust kick more for stabbing straight in to a midsection type attack. Snap kick can do that as well. It's also more designed for coming up here high. Okay. Don't throw a lot of high front kicks. I don't like having my legs taken out from under me, but it's nice to be able to do. Okay. So go ahead and click on the bag here for a moment. So front thrust kick, which I use a lot in sparring because I want to get people off of it. Okay. So someone's coming in, or I decide I want him to move back. I'll bring this up and push it straight back. Okay. I like to aim just above the belt. Okay. So if you're going to pull that if you're sparring, that's when we have the big back. Okay. So front thrust kick, straight back. Okay. Front snap kick, in. Okay. I prefer the thrust kick. A little harder on the back. Okay. So in a nutshell, that's it. If I'm on the front leg in sparring context here, I'm probably not going to get that up to head level. Some people can do it. But I like this coming in under the radar here. So I'm going to pop the knee up, fire straight in like so. I could go high with that, but if he catches it, I'm going to be laying on my back. Okay? So you notice I pull it back. Part of the reason for that is I might want to throw it again. Mainly is I don't want him to grab it, and if he does grab it and I pull back, I want one of two things to happen. Either he's got his hands on it and comes straight to me, leaving his head open, or it drags me to him, leaving whatever body parts open. Okay? So if he does catch your leg, be sure to pull back. If he's got it, pull him with it, or you to him, and hopefully you pulled it back before you got it home. Okay? So, front leg, rear leg, front kick. Pretty simple. Don't see as many of those being used in sparring, should be, because it's really easy to bring that in kind of under the radar and keep people back and off of it. So, in a nutshell, that's your front kick. Usually, like I said, the first kick that you're going to learn. So, if you like that, please like, subscribe. My students, I'm making this for you. Just pay attention to it. Employ that into your sparring a little bit. And if you're interested in some Taekwondo here in Jonesboro, Arkansas, come down and give us a try.